Good morning, all of you. So we begin with today's lecture. So yesterday we were discussing about wavelength converters. Okay, so there are four types. I will be taking only two, and two as such I have given as a presentation to the students. So those will be covered by them. Okay, so and then I will focus on optical amplifiers. So with this we will be completing our module number 5, and then today itself I will introduce module number 6, and then again tomorrow I will continue with module number 6. So the learning outcome will be, you will learn about the types of wavelength converters and optical amplifiers. Usually short notes are asked from this, and then the MCQs can come from the fundamental knowledge. So this I have mentioned yesterday. There are four ways of wavelength conversion. That is the optoelectronic approach, optical gating approach, interferometric approach, and wave mixing. So I will be covering optoelectronic and wave mixing. The other two, it will be covered. It is there in my notes. It is there in the PPT also. Only I am not covering it. I'm giving it as a self-study topic. Okay, so this we have already seen yesterday in the optoelectronic approach. The first one is regeneration, that is 1R. So here what we did is, the current optical signal, we first again converted it back to an electrical signal using a photodetector. We amplified it, and then we gave it to another laser operating at the desired wavelength. So here the incoming signal was at a different wavelength, and I wanted to convert that wavelength. Okay, so since the signal was in optical domain, we reconverted it back to electrical domain, and then that electrical signal used to drive a laser, and that laser output will be generated. So I here get an optical signal which will be at the desired wavelength. So here I was not worrying about any other aspect, only I was regenerating that particular signal at another wavelength. So that's why it comes under the category of 1R, that is only regeneration. Now what I am trying to do in the second method is, I am going to regenerate as well as I am going to reshape. Now when I'm talking about reshaping, we have a digital signal with us. Okay, so the digital signal, as it passes, we have those aliasing errors and so on. The wave tends to disperse. So what we do is, after the amplifier, we put a logic gate over here. Now, what is the output of a gate? It is a digital pulse. Okay, so the gate will take whatever level of voltage as the input, and it will give me an output pulse which is in the digital shape. Okay, so here, suppose for example, I have 0 and 5 volts. So what I did is, I reshaped the signal by just including a gate over here. Now, see, it is in the form of a block. Now, which gate, okay, and all that is not discuss. So if you want to study it, you can go deeper into that, but just the concept that a gate will convert the incoming signal into a digital pulse. So I can say that I have reshaped the pulse, but I have not taken care about a noisy signal. So here what they have mentioned in the diagram is, the phase jitter is present. So that digital pulse will now be given to a driver circuit, laser driver, and again the laser will produce the signal at the desired wavelength. Okay, so here the signal is reshaped, but it is not retimed. Okay, but you know, in actually communication, I should be able to regenerate, reshape, and also I should take care of the timing aspect, because if the timing goes wrong, then entire synchronization between the transmitter and the receiver, it will be disrupted. Okay, so in the next method, that is regeneration, reshaping, and retiming, what we have is, we along with this gate, we have the timing recovery circuit. Okay, so what this timing recovery circuit will do, it will take care of the phase delay that has happened in the journey of the signal till this particular point. So that timing recovered signal is then input to your gate circuit, and then I get the reshaped and retimed signal over here. So this block has been added over here, and what we do is, we add little more sophistication to the method by adding a processing block. So here what I do is, I can see the performance monitoring. Okay, and the overhead processing. So the last method actually is the one which is preferred, and since this is all happening inside my one boundary of two networks, so I need to monitor the performance of the network. Okay, so this is the management aspect that is introduced over here. So performance monitoring, so I can extract the signal from here and I can do all those analysis, and that will be a passive analysis. So the performance monitoring and signal processing block is not adding anything on its own. It's a passive block that is inserted over here. It will just take the part of that signal, incoming signal, and it will do, like in CCN, if you remember, you have done Wireshark. Okay, so what the Wireshark was doing is, from the live stream of the packets, it was extracting and it was giving you all the detailed analysis and all. So similarly, some block might be present over here. Okay, so this completely resets the effect of non-linearities, fiber dispersion, amplifier noise. So the last three are actually is the best one, which removes non-linearity, fiber dispersion, and the noise that apart from the regular transmission, the amplifier also adds noise. Okay, so it removes the amplifier noise, or if any other additional noise is introduced in the transmission. So this is your first way of converting the wavelength from one to the other. So that is the optoelectronic approach. So I am using optical components also, as well as I am using electronic components also. The next fourth one is wave mixing. Like in PCOM, you have studied super heterodyne receiver. So what we were doing is, an incoming signal Fs is mixed with the local oscillator frequency F0, and we have all those combination. You have if you remember, we have the pass bands Fs plus F0, Fs minus F0, and suppose the center frequency is F0. So we add the local oscillator frequency, and the super heterodyne receiver works on that. So in four-wave mixing phenomena, it occurs because of the non-linearity in transmission medium. Okay, and it can be utilized to realize wavelength convergence. So non-linearity, one of the group is covering. So non-linearity is a loss component of the fiber. So what we are trying to utilize is that non-linearity we are trying to utilize as a wavelength converter. Okay, so loss to advantage may convert that, right? So what we are doing is, in four-wave mixing, we have three waves at frequency F1, F2, and F3. So using these three frequencies, what we do is we generate the fourth wave at frequency F1 plus F2 minus F1. So this is one example that they have given. Now, when F1 is equal to F2, so we have a wave at frequency 2F1 minus F3. Okay, so using these three frequency combination, I can generate the fourth wave. So by mixing these waves, I generate the next wave of a different frequency. Right now, we are talking in terms of frequency, but actually it is wavelength. Okay, but wavelength and frequency, they are reciprocal of each other. So here, don't get confused कि यार F frequency बोला है, but we say it is wavelength. Okay, so but frequency and wavelength are related to each other. Now so four waves actually I am getting by mixing the signal. So what we say that in four-wave mixing, the resulting wave, it can lie in the same band as the interacting wave, but it will be a different wave. Like suppose to F1 minus F3, whatever is the answer, it might lie in the band of F1 only, but still it is a different wave. Okay, so it will not interact. So in optical fiber, the generated four-wave mixing power is quite small, but yes, it can lead to crosstalk if it is present. Because see, since I'm saying that it is lying in the same band, so there are chances that the crosstalk is present due to this four-wave mixing. So what are the device that helps me in four-wave mixing is silicon semiconductor optical amplifier. Okay, semiconductor optical amplifier. Okay, so we will study this block just after I finish this particular topic. What is a semiconductor optical amplifier? So here I have suppose two incoming signal, your Fs and Fp. So using these, see, exactly like your super heterodyne receiver only, but they have explained it in a different way. Yeah, FS is the incoming signal frequency बोलते हैं, और ये जो FP है उसको हम probe frequency बोलते हैं. So what we say is, here we don't talk in terms of local oscillator frequency or carrier wave and that way. We talk about the signal frequency and the probe frequency. And when using this combination of an inside the optical amplifier, we have 2fs minus fp, fs, fp, and 2fp minus fs. This is same thing that you get outside the super heterodyne block. So here what we also say is the signal frequency fs, we are transferring it to a probe frequency. So yahan pe and yahan pe, if I have, if leaving this fs, if I have the other three frequency selection, okay, we can say that the incoming signal is transferred to the probe signal. Okay, so this 4-wave mixing, so these are the standard conversions. So this 4-wave mixing is producing signal at frequency. So these frequencies are stated, and also they have mentioned that whatever amplifier I am selecting over here, it should fall within the amplifier band, because an amplifier we need to select working at that particular band. Now out of these 4 waves, any one wave will be required. So you have obviously a filter. So the filter is allowing the required out of the 4 wave, the required wave to pass through itself. So suppose we have 2fp minus fs. Now suppose I have 2fp minus fs. So what I can also say in one sentence, it will be there in the cross phase and cross gain modulation is the incoming signal has been transferred to a probe signal. So 2fp minus fs, but it is not actually transferred. It is another combination out of those 4 frequencies. So some advantages and disadvantages are there. So what is the main advantage of 4-wave mixing? It is truly transparent because the effect does not depend on the modulation format, since both amplitude and phase are preserved during the mixing process, and the bit rate is also preserved. The disadvantage are that the other waves must be filtered out. Okay, because out of those 4 waves, I require only 1 wave. Okay, so I need to filter out. Okay, and the conversion efficiency goes down significantly as the wavelength separation between the signal and the probe is increased. So this is some of the disadvantage of 4-wave mixing. So you can read it out. So if suppose an MCQ comes, what is the disadvantage of 4-wave mixing? So you can cite these 2 things, or remember कि एक filtration का problem है, and the conversion efficiency goes down if the wavelength separation between the signal and means between your FS and FP, if the signal separation is more, then the conversion efficiency goes down. Now usually see all these conversion will be centered around 1310 or 1550 nanometer. Okay, so but if still it is quite wide, the separation between FS and FP, then that efficiency will go down. So these are the 2 disadvantages of 4-wave mixing. So the last topic now is an optical amplifier. In last year end semester also, short note on optical amplifier was asked. So you are free to write. You have a lot of contents about optical amplifier, because we don't usually generally ask about a particular optical amplifier, because utna detailed study nahi karte hum log. So you should not, and please don't refer to Google Notes optical amplifier डालोगे तो बहुत कुछ बोलेंगे. We don't want that kind of answer. Okay, so what is an optical amplifier? Main thing is you should explain where I want to put an optical amplifier. So accordingly also the amplifiers are different. So see, fiber communication from the transmitter to the receiver, and there are so many blocks. So at which block, before the source will you put, or after the detector you will put, or in between you will put if it is a long distance communication. So accordingly your optical amplifiers are also different. So you need to discuss about those amplifiers, and then you come to the specific SOA and EDFA amplifier, and then you can write one slide. 100% if you copy this answer from internet, just you type short note optical amplifier, it will give you a lot of information which is not directly related to what you are expected to write in your exam. So there, if it is a 10 marks question, straight away you get 5 marks. So you might have copied, you took the effort to fool your teachers, the supervisor, and you managed to write the answer, and still you are not getting marks. Okay. So let us see where I am actually putting the optical amplifiers. So let us understand the types of optical amplifier and their application. Now, one thing, all of you, I think it is clear why I require optical amplifiers is because there are losses taking place in the fiber. Okay, so to overcome this loss, specifically the attenuation loss, because the power level has decreased, I need to boost up the signal. Okay, so I need amplifiers. So if you see the diagram, here is the transmitter block, receiver block, the fibers are there. Okay, long distance fiber, so that's why this loop is there. So in between, I have put amplifiers. Amplifiers are with this triangle signal within. Then after immediately the transmitter block, I have an amplifier. Then I give it to a fiber and the communication to the receiver. Or here in the third diagram, what I have is I have transmitted the signal using the fiber. Just before the receiver block, the destination, I have an amplifier. You can see the names of all these amplifiers are different. That is what is expected from you to understand. Then here I have the distribution network. Okay, so I have the transmitter net and the receiver, and these are the various nodes, and these are the points of distribution. So I have a LAN amplifier because this is a network that is present over here. This was directly in line, point to point, point to point. Here I have a network. So then I have a LAN amplifier because when I'm distributing the signal here, an optical bus topology is there will be loss. Okay, loss in the cable. Okay, loss at this junction tap off points. So I require a LAN amplifier. So see the names. I have an inline amplifier, I have a power amplifier, I have a pre-amplifier, then I have a LAN amplifier. So what is an inline amplifier? So the one line definition is written over here. So in inline amplifiers, so what I do is in long distance communication, I see that the power has decreased. So what I do, I want to boost that power level. So for periodic boosting, what you decide is, okay, after every 100 kilometers, I put an amplifier. Okay, so now it depends upon the capacity of the network and so on. So it is not fixed. So you decide that based, so the design engineer will decide because optical amplifiers are costly. So ऐसा नहीं है कि चलो हम लोग बहुत सारा रख देते हैं, so there will be no loss, efficiency will be there. No, I cannot just simply put many amplifiers in my chain. That is not an efficient design. And amplifiers, all the components are costly in fiber optics. So my initial investment बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाएगा, and we cannot do that. So, but if it is a long distance communication covering from India, suppose ऊपर से नीचे, so obviously I need many inline amplifiers for regular boosting, for periodic boosting of the signal. Okay, this is one design. It is not fixed. It is up to you. What you feel is after the transmitter end, let me increase the power level before actually sending it to the fiber. So what you have a power amplifier. Okay, so the transmitter power you पहले से ही तुम लोग boost कर देते हो at a higher level, and then you transmit it through the fiber. So my signal is already amplified before it actually propagates through the fiber. So as it propagates, we know losses will take place, but then yes, it is sufficient to reach the receiver. So accordingly, I will select the gain factor ताकि मेरा signal in a proper accepted way reaches the receiver. So I have a power amplifier. Then see, amplifier word is what generalized word is. Okay, now where I put the amplifier, that decide all these names. So you have to remember it when you are attempting that answer. And this diagram is actually the introduction to your amplifier. And then you can write about something specific. Okay, so this is from the book of Kizar, which I have taken the this particular diagram. Then we have pre-amplifier. So, okay, you transmit at a particular power, it goes through the fiber, but before it reaches the receiver, attenuation has taken place. So what you do is, you have a pre-amplifier. So what you do is, you increase the power level before you actually give it to the receiver, before you actually down convert the signal back to the electrical one. So I have a pre-amplifier over here. And here I can have a LAN amplifier. So if I have a distribution network, then in between, so inline amplifier bhi beech mein aa raha hai, but since it was point to point, I'm calling it as inline amplifier, and here I'm calling it as a LAN amplifier because there is a network that is present. Okay, so that is the only difference between inline and LAN. ये point to point के लिए है और ये जहाँ पे मेरा एक LAN, एक network present है, so I require a LAN amplifier. Why? Because in the distribution network itself, this network might be smaller one compared to this distance. Okay, but these distribution and pack of points will again decrease the signal strength. Okay, so उसके लिए मुझे एक amplifier use करना पड़ेगा. That I call it as the LAN amplifier. Okay. An important word that will come, and it is also an important question. So what is the characteristic of all these amplifiers? ठीक है, one is an inline, one is a pre-amplifier, one is a power booster amplifier, one is a LAN amplifier. But ये सारे amplifier का कुछ तो characteristic होगा common. That's why that amplifier word is there along with all these amplifiers. So what is the characteristic of all amplifier? When I'm talking about all amplifier, ये जो चार नाम है उसका. So a very, very important word which should be there when you are explaining amplifier is all these amplifier operate by creating population inversion. We will study this population inversion when we are studying sources and detectors, because they also work on population inversion. Okay, now what is population inversion? That I will explain in this slide only. In the next chapter, I will elaborate it in detail with graphs and all, because a question, short question, usually जैसे regular paper होता था 5 marks का question, what is population inversion is usually asked. So amplifiers work by using population inversion, so that you should remember. Now what happens in population inversion? Something is written in here only, where there are more individuals in high energy state than a lower one. Did you understand anything by this sentence? Yes or no? अब ये individual मतलब क्या? Am I talking of the person? There are no person present in fiber optics. We have the photons that are going. Okay, so I'll just explain what is a population inversion in one slide only right now. Okay, the incoming pulses of signal on the fiber, they induce stimulated emission. I don't know whether you have heard this word. You should have heard what is stimulated emission. Okay, they saturate above a certain signal power. So right now I'm listing what should be the characteristic of all these amplifiers. First is they work by creating population inversion. So I will explain what is population inversion. Then how they amplify the signal. So they will amplify the signal. So मेरा एक amplifier का block है. So I have the incoming pulses, the incoming light enters the amplifier block, और वो जो amplifier है उसके अंदर I have stimulated emission taking place. So what happens in stimulated emission? One photon strikes the other, produce 2 photons. Those 2 photons strikes the other photon, produces 4. So that chain continues. So we have 2 types of emission that also we will study when we will study laser. We have spontaneous emission, we have stimulated emission. Okay, so in spontaneous emission, what happens? I have 2 energy level. If you remember in the energy band diagram, I have 2 energy level. Okay, so I have one photon, or right now we are calling photon. Usually we call electrons when we talk about an electrical circuit. So one photon is in the lower energy level. When it gets excited, what happens is, I'll just draw if you are not able to imagine. I have this 2 energy level. Suppose E1, I call it as the higher energy level, and I have E0 as the lower energy level. Okay, so I have one photon which is present in the lower energy level. So due to spontaneous emission क्या होगा, an incoming photon strikes the particular photon. This photon, it gets excited and it moves into higher energy level. Okay, and when it moves to higher energy level, it releases a photon. So I get the light signal. Now what happens in stimulated emission is my photon is already in the excited state. Okay, so from the ground state, it goes, or from the higher energy level, it goes to the, sorry, from the lower energy level, it goes to the higher energy level. So this photon is in the excited state and it releases a light photon. Okay, so I get the output. Now, in case of stimulated emission, I already have a photon in the excited state. Now, the incoming photon strikes this particular photon, which is already in the excited state, and it releases two photons. Okay. Similarly, this two photon, okay, it is already in the excited state. So this two photon will again strike two photons, excite two photons, and produce. So it is a chain that happens, and I get more number of photons only with stimulated emission. So any optical amplifier, मुझे amplify करना है, okay? So I have to stimulate that signal, stimulate the photons in this case. Okay, so it should work on the principle also of stimulated emission, but then the limitation of amplifier is they saturate above a certain signal power. Like this process can continue till a particular point. Okay, ऐसा नहीं है कि okay, with this amplifier I can amplify 100, okay, gain of 100, next amplifier, okay, ठीक है, मुझे gain of 1000 चाहिए. No, I cannot do that. Every amplifier saturates above a power, above at a particular power level. Even in EDC, when you have designed simple amplifiers using a transistor, so you, when you plot those characteristics, okay, so amplifier का अगर wide band characteristic है, so you had this, so characteristic, okay, so what was this? This was beyond it, I could not increase the power level. So you can say कि it saturates above. So it is not कि the gain will constantly keep on increasing. Okay, एक और दूसरे को stimulate करेगा, दूसरा दूसरे को stimulate करेगा. No. So every power amplifier will saturate at a particular power level. Okay. So these are the three characteristics which should be present in optical amplifier. Now let us understand what is population inversion. Okay, fourth point also is there of characteristic of amplifier is they add noise. Remember in that block also, whenever we had that amplifier, that we mentioned that amplifier output signal was a noisy signal. So amplifiers add noise. Okay, so whichever amplifier you select, that amplifier will add noise. So these are the four characteristic, regular characteristic of optical amplifier. इसके अलावा based on the type of optical amplifier, they have their own characteristic. Now I'll explain what is population inversion. So at least all of you, when I told the previous, I was explaining the previous slide, you know that there are two energy levels, lower energy level and higher energy level. Now under thermal equilibrium, normal condition, the usual pattern is that more, here the word electrons is used, okay, considering electrical circuit, but when we are explaining population inversion with respect to fiber, it will be replaced by the word photon. I am explaining just what is population inversion, a general one. Okay, so under normal condition, under thermal equilibrium, what is the criteria is there should be more number of photons or electrons in the lower energy level compared to the higher energy level, or lower band, this is the upper band. Okay, so this is my normal level. Now what I do is I have to pump or excite the electrons to the higher energy level because I am using stimulated emission. तो stimulated emission के लिए मुझे क्या करना पड़ेगा, ये सारे जो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स है या photons है, I have to send them to the higher energy level. Yes, then only stimulated emission will take place. So what I am doing in amplifier is I am doing population inversion. So जो population normal condition में यहाँ पे ज़्यादा था, I am inverting it, and you can see this scenario over here. The population is now more in the upper energy level compared to the lower energy level. So normal situation से ये उल्टा हो गया. Okay, so that's why we call it as population inversion. Those who have not read or understood, they will feel what is population over here. Usually population you feel in terms of counting the persons in when I say population of a country and all. No. Okay, so it is with respect to the number of electrons present in the energy level. So normal level में lower band में ज़्यादा population होना चाहिए, but in optical amplifiers, since I want to do stimulated emission, I have to send this to the higher energy level. Stimulate करके उसको ऊपर भेजना है so that the photons are released. So considering the normal situation, यहाँ पे population ज़्यादा होना चाहिए, अभी यहाँ पे ज़्यादा है. So I am achieving population inversion. Laser also will work on population inversion because laser का full form क्या है? Light emission by stimulated emission of radiation. So there also we are using stimulated emission. So there also population inversion takes place. Okay, so I'll ask this question, what is population inversion? Again, when I'll teach the topic of laser, at that time you should be able to understand, where we have some graphs and all to explain population. So population inversion occurs when more electrons in a particular situation are in a higher energy state than in a lower energy state. Okay, so population inversion can be thought of as inversion from the standard, and this is my particular standard. I hope you have understood this. Just a yes from any one of you.
Yes.
Sadanand, your voice was low. I hope it is a yes.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
And am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. I was saying yes. Hello.
I don't know why this gets closed every time. Laptop में कोई problem. So after explaining the characteristic, what are the, we have studied, we have power amplifier, inline amplifier, we have pre-amplifier. So how will I select the amplifier? So where I want high gain in my design, okay, I will select a power amplifier. If I want to go for a medium gain amplifier, then I will go for a inline amplifier. And a pre-amplifier is just before the detector. Okay, so if I just want to simply increase little amount of gain, then I will go with a pre-amplifier. Okay, so based on what is your gain requirement, you select the power amplifier. Okay, so this was about the gain. Then if I talk in terms of maximum power output, okay, so यहाँ पे since the gain is high, the output power is high. Medium output power अगर medium चाहिए, you will go with an inline amplifier. If you want low output power, you go for a pre-amplifier. Noise figure, yes, when I talk about an amplifier, I have said in the characteristic that amplifier adds noise. So if the noise figure is not very important and I just want amplification of my output power, I will go with the power amplifier. Okay, but if in my communication, if that noise plays a crucial role, I have to decrease that noise figure. Okay, then I will go with an inline amplifier. If the noise figure is less than 5 dB, if it is specified कि नहीं noise figure 5 dB से कम होना चाहिए, then I will go with the pre-amplifier where then I have to compensate on low output power. So based on the requirement of gain, output power and noise figure. I have to decide whether I want a power amplifier, inline amplifier or a pre-rack. So when you are actually designing your optical network, okay, it's not only the source, the detector and the selecting the fiber, all the other components like couplers, you have studied so many components now, switches, okay. Then you have those splices also are of different types. So all these play a crucial role and every component will introduce some loss. Okay. Then comes the last two topic is SOS. So these are the two widely used optical amplifier. So we have semiconductor optical amplifier. Okay, so SOS are actually laser diodes. Okay, so construction wise, fabrication wise, these semiconductor optical amplifiers are like laser diode. Okay, without end mirror. Now यहाँ पे देखो ये structure है, laser diode का भी ये structure रहेगा. But यहाँ पे क्या किया है मैंने? I have this amplifier block. Okay, so this is the fiber I have attached, the yellow one. This is the fiber I have attached. So in laser, at both the ends, I will not have the fiber. Okay, so that is actually the difference. This side, this structure is the same. Okay, now where I will do the change? What is happening in laser is I have the incoming signal from the laser drive circuit. Okay, and the light should come out from this side of the laser. यहाँ पे क्या है? अगर यहाँ से सी optical fibers both way communication हो सकता है ना? So if light is entering from here, it will come out from here. If light is entering from here, it will be amplified and it will come out from here. Now in laser, what I will do is, suppose this is my input signal. Okay, so I will put mirrors over here. Remember Fabry-Perret filter I had discussed? We had that cavity. Okay, so this is my laser cavity. Okay, so यहाँ पे मैंने mirror रख दिया है. So the photons will strike that mirror. It will come back. Okay, and resonance भी हो जाएगा उससे. So okay, so positive feedback. I get resonance. Okay, so here I will have mirrors over here on this part. So the incoming signal will enter, stimulated emission हो जाएगा laser में, and then it will come out from this block, and then I will have a connector over here. Now what we have in amplifiers is this two fibers are joined. They are attached to both ends of this particular block. So that makes it as an amplifier. बाकी जो internal construction है laser में और थोड़ा detail में हम लोग पढ़ेंगे. It is exactly like your laser. यहाँ से भी I will put mirrors. This white part यहाँ पे भी मैं mirror डाल दूंगी. If by chance the photons escape into this portion, it does not come out. It should come out only from one of this end, one of that point. Okay, so light enters the fiber. Okay. So they amplify any optical signals that come from either fiber end, okay, and transmit an amplified version. So यहाँ पे in this entire patch, which is of pink color, that stimulated emission takes place, and an amplified signal comes out from the other end. So SOS amplifiers are typically constructed in small package and they work for 1310 and 1550 nanometer. So if you see, we say that there are 3 optical windows, but 850 nanometer पे अभी हम use ही नहीं करते. So we have all components at 1310 and 1550. And if I am having wavelength division multiplexing, I will definitely have 1550 के सारे devices. So in addition, they transmit bidirectionally, making the reduced size of the device an advantage over regenerators or EDFAs. We will see what is EDFA. So in SOS, agar suppose they ask you comparison, in SOS signal enters from both the side. यहाँ से भी enter होगा तो भी amplify होके इधर से आएगा, यहाँ से भी enter होगा तो भी amplify होके इधर आएगा. Now, however, the drawback of SOS includes high coupling loss, polarization dependence, and high noise figure. So all these happens or are the disadvantage of an optical semiconductor optical amplifier. Now comes your erbium doped fiber amplifier. So if you know anything about erbium, your chemistry, so erbium is a rare earth metal. Okay, I had discussed erbium when we were talking about glass fibers. Okay, like the same glass fibers, we can change the optical characteristics to make it work as a switch, as an amplifier, as an attenuator. I had mentioned this point if you remember. So erbium is a rare earth metal. So when excited, what happens? This erbium metal, it emits light around 1.54 micrometer. And you know 1.54 is around 1550 nanometer. And that is what at that particular wavelength we have the lowest loss. And that we are using in DWDM. DWDM is dense wavelength division multiplexing. So it's just variation of wavelength division multiplexing. So using this property of erbium, because उसको excite किया तो it is emitting light, and for us it is helpful because it is emitting at 1.54 micrometer. So जब से EDFA आया है, okay, because it was invented after semiconductor optical amplifier, so DWM multiplexing भी आ गया and EDFA helped DWM, and that technology progressed. Okay, so that was the driving force in the development of this fiber technology. So EDFA का popularity ज़्यादा है. Okay, now how EDFA works? So here I have my laser. ये जो purple portion है, that is my not laser, sorry, fiber. Okay, and in that fiber, what I'm doing is one stretch of fiber, this orange bar, I am doping that fiber, that glass, okay, fiber core. I am doping it with an erbium. So what happens is I have my input signal which passes through the fiber. So then what I'm doing is using this pump laser, I excite this particular light which passes from this fiber stretch. And when it passes through this erbium doped fiber, so what happens is, since I have excited it using a pump laser, this excitation will again encourage stimulated emission. So ये पूरे patch में that stimulated emission will take place, and when the light comes out of this normal fiber, it is an amplified version. Okay, so here you can see in this fiber only, the erbium dope, I don't have a separate structure for it. Okay, so I just dope that patch of fiber with an erbium doped signal. So a weak signal enters the erbium doped fiber, into which light at 980 nanometer or 1480 nanometer is injected using a pump laser. This injected light stimulates the erbium atoms to release their stored energy as an additional 1550 nanometer light. As this process continues down the fiber, so this fiber we are talking about, the signal strength goes. So this is the introduction about your SOS and your EDFA. Okay, so the spontaneous emission in EDFA also adds noise to the signal. This determines the noise figure of EDFA. EDFAs are typically capable of gain of 30 dB or more and the output power of plus 17 dB or more. The target parameters when selecting an EDFA, however, are low noise and flat gain. Gain should be flat because all signal must be amplified uniform. So this is some points about the EDFA amplifier. So this completes your 5th module. I'll just introduce you to the 6th module, which I'll continue tomorrow. So the 6th module is having the name, still time is there. Optical link. Now, actually, since it is the last module, it is like you should have studied 3rd and 4th, 5th, and then the 6th one. But since I have to cover the practical thing, and if I start with 3rd and 4th, 3rd, 4th with practical nahi hai, so I had to cover this. But at least you know something about laser, something about photo detector. You know laser converts incoming electrical signal to optical signal, and photo detector converts optical to electrical. Okay, so that is your laser. So in module 6, optical link, usually short notes, numericals are asked from this part. So that's why I'm covering this. So introduction, point-to-point link, system consideration. So now we are talking not of a source or a detector or any component. We will be talking about the entire system, fiber system. So designing of a fiber system. Now designing of a fiber system, we will consider only point-to-point. नेटवर्क नहीं डालते. ओके, सो वी आर नॉट इनटू राइट नाउ फाइबर नेटवर्किंग. सो एक पॉइंट से दूसरे पॉइंट पे ही वन टू वन कनेक्शन, पॉइंट टू पॉइंट, नॉट पॉइंट टू मल्टी पॉइंट आल्सो. सो two important parameters that comes whether you design an RF system, whether you design a satellite system. Okay, वायरलेस सिस्टम भी अगर तुमने डिजाइन किया है, so these two budgeting is a must. Okay, like the link power budget and the rise time budget. So ये पूरा हो गया एक topic of system design. Now new parameters have come, that is now we are fiber optics has its own advantage, RF has its own advantage. Now what we are trying to do is we are trying to transmit RF over fiber. Okay, so we are trying to merge these two technologies. So what is the concept of RF over fiber? So these are the new topics that were included in your syllabus. Earlier we never used to have this because kabhi ye technology existence mein nahi tha. Okay, then what are the key link parameters when I talk about RF over fiber? And then we will discuss how we are actually transmitting radio over fiber link. In some of the foreign companies in the stadium and all, okay, they take the shooting from the ground and they telecast it, no, in a particular channel. So those cameras and all are there, okay, on the stadium. So they are trying to use this RF over fiber link. Okay, so we will see some of the example. Then microwave photonics. Okay, now when I am transmitting RF over fiber, RF का कुछ अलग है, fiber का कुछ अलग है. So the components that are handling जो in between है, माइक्रोवेव सिग्नल लेके फाइबर सिग्नल में, ऑप्टिकल सिग्नल में कन्वर्ट कर रहा है. सो it's altogether a different component. So I have given this topic also to one of the group. I will cover a little bit. So a new topic comes, microwave photonics, which is trying to combine, okay, or develop components which has the feature, which can take the feature of microwave signal and a photonic signal, because totally both are different domain. Okay, so microwave photonics. So these are the latest topics of fiber optics. So these are all theory. Here, either a short note on system consideration or link budget analysis or numerical. Last time a numerical was asked in the end semester paper. बहुत ही छोटा numerical हो गया था. Okay, but it was the luck of the student. In one of the examiner ने उसको 2 mark के MCQ में डाला और one of the examiner ने उसको 10 mark के लिए डाल दिया. I don't know how. So out of the 3 examiner जिसका भी paper आया वो 10 mark वाला आ गया. Okay, and the same question was there in our paper for 2 marks. Okay, so we had 3 papers, so randomly one paper got selected. So anyways, so we will be doing all the numericals and all, and one of them we will be implementing in the lab, link budget analysis. Okay, so I will not continue now with this. I'll just take the attendance.